Good morning, Figaholic friends. Here I have two trees of Caldodom Nor, and this is a tree that we started from cuttings, or these are trees that we started from cuttings from a California Rare Fruit Growers Scion Exchange. If you're in California and not a member of the CRFG, I suggest that you do so. It's a fun fruit growing community, and it's a good organization to be sharing knowledge and plant material. And they usually have Scion exchanges in the wintertime, especially in Northern California. There's 5 chapters that get together and prepare cuttings from the Prusch Park in San Jose, where they have a collection. Anyway, I think, I showed yesterday that my Caldodom Nor from Prusch does not have the stripes on it that my Caldodom Nor from Vasil or Herman does, and I wonder if they're different. I'm not certain of that, but I got that tree from Herman more recently, and it does grow more upright for me. But on the other hand, I'm pruning these trees differently, trying to keep them horizontal on a wire. Only partially successful with that. Right now, that tree on the right is more vigorous than this one on the left, but a lot of that is because of pruning. I have tended to prune one tree more in one year than the other. And in an earlier video this morning, I referred to the delay of fruit set from pruning heavily. And this is an example that came up, I think it was 3 years ago, and it might have been 4 years ago, but I think 3 years ago I was having an organized fig gathering with, it was somewhat open to people. I said you needed to request approval to come, so I made sure to have room. But we had maybe 25 people come, and I had some friends come earlier to help me pick fruit for that. It became just too big of a issue. I have too many varieties. It would take me 2 days to pick figs of all the varieties for people to taste, and I just can't. I don't want to walk a big group through my orchard. Anyway, when we were picking fruit that morning, there was one tree. In fact, this tree on the left had been pruned heavily, and the tree on the right had not been. And my friend Gary from Sebastopol, he asked me if I was sure they were the same tree, and yeah, I got cuttings from the same bag and started in the same time. But I explained the one on the left I had pruned heavily, and he was noticing there were very few ripe fruits on it, whereas the tree on the right had more ripe fruits on it. So, and they were also larger. So, I had also we had someone at our Sacramento, California Rare Fruit Grower Exchange taught Dr. Ernesto Sandoval from UC Davis. He manages a conservatory there. He did some talking about plant hormones, and it got me to thinking that maybe that was what was in play here. There's a balance between root size and branch structure, and there's hormones being created differently. Different. I'm not a scientist in this regard, but I understand a little bit. But auxins, some create root growth, and some encourage upper plant growth. And I think that what I've tried to practice, if I don't need every cutting for selling, I try to prune about 1/3 of the tree every year. And that seems to keep things in balance. And I heard that I used to listen to a garden show on Saturday mornings when I was in bed and able to sleep in without so much on my mind before I was farming. And the garden doctor on KFBK, Dr. Dan Pratt, he's passed away many years ago, very knowledgeable, and he talked about this 1/3 pruning, and he said at the time, and I recall these things very vividly in my mind there, how UC Davis had, talked about, if you prune more than 1/3, the plant's going to be robbing from the roots to rebuild. And I'm not sure that robbing, is a technical term, but anyway, try to keep pruning in mind. There's one guy in the San Jose area that says Panache never ripens for him. And he was at that gathering here, I'm talking about 3 or 4 years ago. And at that same gathering, someone else from San Jose, and he brought a whole plate full of Panache. Well, the guy without any ripe Panache, he prunes his entire tree back every year. So I said, try, not pruning so much. 2 years later, I still never get any ripe Panache, and he's still pruning back every year. So keep that in mind. So again, this is Cotodon nor. Let's get to actually tasting some fruit here. I'm going to expand that open some just to get a better look at the pulp. Very intense berry flavor, some acidity, and mild sweetness. A very delicious, rich tasting fig. We've got many more ripening. We'll have crop, being picked from this tree for at least into October. It's one of my favorite figs that I have 2 trees of. It's very good. Well, I have 3 now with Vasil's version. So again, Cotodon nor. Thanks for watching.